Greetings all. Solid geometry. Now, we're going to be dealing with a prism that has been tilted or inclined. Now, let's assume that they give you, this will be your XY line, and then they tilt or give you this front view like that. They give you 45 degrees angle over there. So this is the front view that they give you. Possibilities are they give you just the front view, or they also give you an ox view, which is a helping view. In other words, they show you that this is, they're showing you that that is your ox view. So basically now, what you'll be doing is, you still have to draw the top view there in order to obtain that. Yes, others will say, no, I can do it from there, coming here. But I strongly believe that if we first, number one, our priority is to draw the top view. So it means you must now lift this thing up, bring it here to the XY line first. So in other words, from our previous lessons, where we had it sitting on its base, it's sitting now on the XY line. It is sitting with its base on the XY line. Therefore, we know now that we can tilt at this corner. So, this view here does not have to be there when you start drawing. This is just a question that showing you that how that is going to be drawn. An ox view is actually a helping view. Alright, so if this is 45 degrees, then we say 90 degrees minus 45 degrees, which will be equal to 45 degrees. So it means this angle also must give us 45 degrees, or it must be 45 degrees. Simply because when we add these two angles, we must always get 90 degrees. So, first step, we need to determine the top view. We need to draw the top view first. That's number one. Number two, we will then go into this view here, which is the front view, which is inclined. Then we can draw either left view or a right view, depending on what is it that they're asking you to draw. Now, remember, the top view will be incomplete when you start drawing in order to get the front view. So it's known as an incomplete front view. Then you will need to complete the top view by projecting points from the top view. So let us begin. Now this is our helping view on the top view. Let's call it number one, let's call it number two, let's call it number three, and that's number four. Remember, it is a prism, that's why there's nothing drawn there. Now, this is still under construction, meaning that it must be light. Nothing is dark just yet. Now, you need now to project to your XY line. Now, assuming that this is the position of your XY line, that's the position of your XY line. We label this X, Y. Then we say, okay, number three, it must go to your XY line. Number 2 and 4 on the XY line there, and number 1 on XY line. So I'm going to call this 1, I'm going to call that 3, this is 2 and 4. Because we said this is tilted, and it means it's tilted on 1, number 1, I place my compass on 1, then I need to take the distance by placing my compass on 1, it goes to number 2 and 4, which is the first point. Then I swing. Then I now open my compass to number 3. number 3, then repeat the same thing. I will then swing. Now that I've swung those 2 points, then I draw a 45-degree line there. That's my 45-degree line. That is my base. So basically, this is 2 and 4. That's number 3. They are both on their new position now, because now this is now 45 degrees. What did we say here? This angle must also be 45 degrees. Then it's just a construction. It's going that side. Assuming that your front view height is 70 millimeters, that's a construction, and this is also a construction. Assuming that this front view is 70 millimeters, so on one I'm going to measure 70 millimeters. So that's 70 millimeters. So what it means, that is 45 degrees bottom base, then the top base will still be at 45 degrees. Then I can now draw these lines dark. Now I know exactly where they stop. Number 1 drawn dark, number 2 and 4 drawn dark, and number 3 drawn dark. Now I have 1 there, I have 2 and 4 there, then this is number 3. So I call this a bottom base and I call that a top base. So now the rule comes in where you say vertical and horizontal. Now you need to match these numbers vertically and horizontally. So let us start with the horizontal points. Number 2 goes to the right hand side, construction. Number 1, construction. Number 4, construction. I would like to start with the top base. There's a reason why I like to start with the top base. Now, remember, we said horizontal and vertical. Now, I'm going to start with 1 must go to number 1. So 1 goes to number 1. So I'll put the label there, 1. Then I go to number 2 and 4. Remember, there's 2 there and there's 4 there. So I bring in number 2 and 4. I put the label there, I say 4, then I say 2 over there. Then comes in number 3. Remember, number 3 needed to be drawn horizontally also. So I bring in number 3. Number 3 goes to number 3. Number 3 goes into number 3. So somehow here, 1 and 3, same position. Now, what you need to notice is that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, back to 1. So I need to join these points, light. 1 goes to number 2. Then number 2 goes to number 3. Number 3 goes to number 4. And 4 goes back to number 1. Now you see, you still have a shape of a square, but not a regular. Now this is how you are getting your top view. So this is where you are standing in order to get your top view. That's where you're looking at the front view in order to obtain the top view. So you can see 1 to number 2, you can see number 2 to number 3, you can see number 3 to number 4, as well as 4 back to 1. So what does that tell you? It tells you that this base here, top base, everything must be drawn dark because you see all of it. Because you see all of it. Therefore, it must be drawn dark. So now I'm completing dark. So that's what you draw dark. Done. So that is your top base. Now we look at the bottom base. It's the same thing that we are going to be doing. So the bottom base, let's start at number 1. Number 1, same position, it doesn't move. Number 2 and 4, from the new front view, number 2 and 4, that's 2 and that's 4. I'll put the label there, I say 4, then I say 2. Right, perhaps we use a different color so that we know exactly that's 4 and this is 2. So by using a different color, you're saying that's the one we're going to use now. Then we bring in number 3. So this is now number 3. Again, now we have all the numbers, 1, same position, then you've got 2, 3, 4. Then you join this by saying from 1 you go to number 2, light, remember, from number 2 you go to number 3, from number 3 you go to number 4, and then from number 4 you go back to number 1. So that's how you join this. Very light at the moment because it is still under construction. Now you then say, what is it that I see? So from this direction here, in order to get this top view, you can only see 2, 3 and 3, 4. That's what you will see, because it will be in that position. 2, 3, you shall see. So we draw this dark. And 4, 3, you can see that, so we draw the dark. Now, take note, from this position, can you see from 3 to 3? The answer should be yes, I can see from 3 to 3. Well done. Now, from the same position, will you see from 2 to number 2? The answer will be yes. You can see from 2 to number 2. Then we draw this dark. 4 to 4, remember 4 and 2 same position from this side, therefore it should be drawn dark. So that you can see. Then we say this is just the outside. So what is happening inside? The base first. So it means if I can see from 2, 3, 4, I cannot see here. So I'm going to make this hidden detail. So I'm going to draw this hidden detail. I cannot see that. Then likewise from 1 to number 2, I cannot see that. So 1 goes to number 2 is hidden detail. I cannot see that. Now, can you see 1 to 1 from that position? No, it's underneath. Is being hidden. Then we say 1 to 1 becomes hidden detail. 1 to 1 becomes hidden detail. 1 to 1 becomes hidden detail. This is the top view that is complete, and that is the front view. Thank you.